Imagine this. You wake up in the middle of the night, heart pounding, skin slick with sweat. A nameless hunger gnaws at you, not for food, not for love, but for something darker, more insatiable. You've tried to resist it, to rationalize it, to bury it under distractions. Yet it always returns, stronger, whispering in the silence. What if this isn't just desire, but a war for your soul? Carl Jung warned that lust isn't merely physical. It's a shadow, a force hijacking your unmet fears, your unlived potential. The more you suppress it, the more it controls you. But what if the answer isn't in fighting it, but in understanding its true origin? What if your deepest hunger isn't for pleasure, but for power, for meaning, for something beyond the body entirely? The real battle begins when you ask, who or what is truly in control? The craving you feel isn't weakness. It's a symptom of something far deeper. Carl Jung saw lust as a distorted cry of the soul, a misguided attempt to fill an existential void. When meaning vanishes, the body seeks sensation. When purpose fades, desire becomes a false god. Nietzsche called it the will to power turned inward, a primal energy with nowhere else to go. Schopenhauer saw it as the blind force of the will, enslaving us to cycles of wanting and dissatisfaction. And modern neuroscience confirms it. Dopamine doesn't crave pleasure, it craves more. The trap isn't in the wanting, but in the illusion that satisfaction lies at the end of it. Society feeds this hunger, selling you fantasies of fulfillment through consumption. But the more you chase, the emptier you become. The real question isn't how to stop wanting, but why you've been taught to want the wrong things. This hunger does not exist in isolation. It reshapes your world without your consent. Every suppressed impulse, every unexamined desire, seeps into your decisions like an invisible poison. You mistake obsession for passion, addiction for love, distraction for peace. Modern culture thrives on this confusion. Social media engineers endless craving. Pornography rewires intimacy into consumption. Even spirituality gets reduced to another commodity, enlightenment, sold in 30-day courses. The result? A society drowning in stimulation yet starving for meaning. Neurologically, the cycle deepens. Each hit of dopamine demands a stronger dose. Psychologically, the shadow grows. The parts of yourself you refuse to face gain power in the dark. You don't just desire. You become the desire. And the most terrifying part, you might never notice. Until one day, you wake up and realize you're never in control. The way out is not suppression, it's transformation. Jung discovered that the shadow loses its power when brought into consciousness. What you resist persists, but what you face, you can redirect. This is alchemy, turning base hunger into higher purpose. Start with ruthless honesty. Trace the craving back to its roots. Is it boredom? Fear of death? A thirst for transcendence disguised as physical need? Nietzsche's solution was sublimation, channeling primal energy into creativity, philosophy, or spiritual discipline. The Stoics taught amor fati, loving your fate rather than escaping it. Practice this. When lust arises, pause. Ask, what is this truly asking for? Then redirect that energy into writing, into art, into a brutal workout. The energy is neutral. Only its use determines your freedom. You are not the craving. You are the one who chooses what to do with it. Here is the secret. Lust was never your enemy. It was a messenger, a distorted call from the depths of your unlived life. The 70% reduction begins when you realize this hunger was always for something else, for creation, for meaning, for the divine. Jung called it the transcendent function, the moment opposing forces desire and restraint collide and give birth to something higher. The energy you wasted fighting yourself now fuels your evolution. You stop seeing flesh as sin and start seeing it as potential. This is liberation. Not the absence of desire, but the mastery of its fire. The choice is yours to let it burn you or let it forge you. So ask yourself one last time, what will you do with your hunger now that you know its true name?